Now, I found this very interesting thread on Smite Reddit. People talking about why Siege should come back. And this is actually the same problem we had in League of Legends. Why did they remove Twisted Treeline? Why did they remove Domination? And of course, you usually have on Reddit, these guys who think they know what are they talking about, but they actually don't, right? So probably one of the biggest reason here is that after 20 years, these MOBA studios still don't understand the true origins of their own genre. They actually think that only Dota, aka Conquest, can be competitive, so they ignore everybody else, remove all these different fun game modes, but they don't actually realize that this is literally what made whole MOBA genre in the first place. MOBA basically mean fight of characters on all these different millions and millions of community-made maps. That's the true origins of MOBA genre, right? But these guys still think that the whole origins of the whole genre was just Dota, so they ignore everybody else and just focus on this one game mode, which in reality was never even made for esports in the first place, right? And then another huge issue is the reason why they remove Siege is because they thought they're gonna attract more players to Conquest aka Dota if they remove other game modes. But in fact they reached the opposite effect, right? A lot of these games lost so many players, you know, because they divided the community on every corner and because they removed fun content and maps from the game. And that's a fact. Since they removed Clash, since they removed Siege from Smite, since they removed fun game modes in the match of the day rotation, since they destroyed arena scene, since they stopped organizing actual online tournaments, the Smite has just been going downhill, and even the numbers don't lie. And even if you went back a few years ago and you know, there's so many people talking about Domination in League of Legends, Twisted Treeline, so many people loved it. And people still actually think that the reason they remove those maps is because people neither play them or they have some other issues, but they never really admit what's the real issue. It is their outdated mentality, right? They don't even understand their own genre, right? How MOBA genre was actually originated from Warcraft 3 and Starcraft 2 era, where there was actually a millions of community-made maps. That's actually the true origins of MOBA genre. It was basically a fight of characters on all different, you know, fun community-made maps. And Dota was just one of them. Dota was just one of a millions of community-made maps. You know, Dota, aka Conquest, aka Defense of the Ancients. Right? It was basically a fun 3-lane map, you know, made 25 years ago, you know, and we all played it. Everybody that played Warcraft 3 custom maps or even Call of Duty 2 custom maps like Small Kitchen and stuff knows this, you know. So I decided, you know, I have to make video about this because it always pisses me off when I see these comments, you know, acting like they understand but they actually don't, you know. And this is actually why they actually destroyed the whole this is in my opinion probably the biggest reason why the whole MOBA esports and genre is actually dying. It's not just because of capitalism where only 5% has a chance. It's not just because how mismanaged esports are, where they literally waste millions on hand-picked pro players instead of actually organizing real rankings and tournaments. But it's also because a lot of these outdated MOBA mentalities when, you know, people make decisions that don't really understand the true origins of the genre, and instead of bringing the community together, they just simply divide it on every corner, right? I mean, the same reason they removed Ranked Arena, Smite, Siege, Clash from Smite, the same reason League of Legends did that. They removed Twisted Treeline, they removed Domination, you know, they only give one game mode, rank, leaderboard and rewards, and Smite Hire Studio does this mistake in every game they make, right? For example, in Paladins we have Deathmatch versus Siege, and they only give rank leaderboard and rewards, basic rank functionalities to one map, to 30-40% of their community, and then they expect good results. They do the same thing in a Raw company, where they decided to give rank leaderboard and rewards only to what do we have in we have, I think we have it's like team what is it, deathmatch versus, so yes, it's a similar thing, you know. I think this is one of the biggest mistake in my opinion. Every game mode can be competitive, right? You either wanna win or you don't, right? And now we have this problem in a lot of these games, that we only have rank leaderboard and rewards for snowballing game modes. They actually think that in order to for a game mode to be competitive, you have to be designed around snowballing. But in reality, snowballing game modes were literally never designed for esports in the first place. You know, Dota All-Star was never designed for esports in the first place. It was just basically a fight of overpowered characters, and the true difficulty of Dota was actually learning all these secret recipes and learning how the recipes work and stuff. And for that you had to have the experience. So it was actually really hard to even get in those games. And it's not because it was so competitive. In fact, all these convoluted recipes and, you know, extreme snowballing were actually just a way for guys to get carried by numbers, you know, so they feel good, you know. But in my opinion, every real competitive player wanna play on even playing field, where all that matters is how you play and how you build, not some mere number advantage. That's why it's so hard to take League of Legends esports seriously. It's just basically a snowballing game designed for children, where even best faker clip is just basically him having 2-level advantage. Do you guys know how much advantage is there when you have 2 or 3 level advantage in such game modes designed around numbers? It's insanity how much of a difference that actually is, right? And people think, you know, I think another huge issue is that a lot of these MOBA studios, they try to copy guys like League of Legends, they try to copy Wolf, but they don't realize a lot of these guys have lost so many player base over the years. They showed literally zero innovation, they don't even understand their own genre, and the only reason why are they successful is because they have so much control over Asia market, or even if if Valve makes a bad game, they will still make money on Steam, right? So these are the last guys you wanna copy for innovation, you know? And I mean, there is a reason why Deadlock lost 80% of its player base over 1 or 2 years now. You know, why Elden Ring lost 90% of its player base. You know, there is a reason League of Legends haven't seen innovation in 20 years, because they don't need to show innovation, because they make money anyway. But how are these guys even making money when they literally waste millions each year on these so-called hand-picked pros? They never earned anything. They just got hand-picked. So it doesn't really mean anything, does it? Sports without real rankings and tournaments are practically meaningless. You know, it's actually insanity. Why are we praising these guys when they are actually getting paid to gatekeep any competition? And that's why nobody takes esports seriously anymore. I mean, why would you? In Smite, for example, they haven't organized online tournaments in years. In years. When was the last time we actually had real online tournaments for Arena or Conquest? They can't even make a new Arena map. They couldn't make a new Arena map in 7-8 years, even though Arena is the most popular game mode in Smite. Right? That's how divided they are. They would rather destroy their game than actually, you know, give Arena fans basic rank functionalities. That's how people actually got IP banned. They got IP banned for even talking about Arena ranked. You know, anything beside Dota, Aka, Conquest, you know? That's how divided those communities are. And it really all comes down to the fact that these guys have no real experience and they don't even understand their own genre. And that's a fact. And it has nothing to do with the player base. You know, people always say it's because nobody played it or it was unbalanced, blah, blah, blah. That's just bullshit. It's simply because after 20 years, they still think that only Dota, Aka, Conquest can be competitive, Aka snowballing game modes. When in reality, snowballing it is literally designed for kids that needs number advantage to win their games. It's actually embarrassing how clueless all these guys are who run these MOBA studios. And that's why Arena is probably the biggest open niche on the MOBA market, because most MOBA studios, they only cater to Conquest like a Dota fans. I highly suggest watching the King's Avatar animation and learn how to make a complete MOBA or MMORPG game. So, and yeah, I think this is the problem, right? Since Titan Forge took over, all they did for the game was dividing the community on every corner and removing content from the game. And then no online tournaments, and then they wonder why the game isn't doing well. I mean, is it even surprising how mismanaged the game was over these 5 years? All the mistakes League of Legends did, we did in Smite, you know, and you know, and then these clueless capitalism guys in studios are just trying to copy League of Legends. Literally, Smite 2 is basically just a copy of League of Legends systems and Dota, and they think they will get the same results when they don't realize that guys like Wolf, they can make them, they don't need to show any innovation in 20 years and they will still make money, right? Because they have Steam. And we are doing so many mistakes now with Smite 2. Smite 2 is supposed to be something cool like the King's Avatar animation, third action combat, battleground of the gods. Now it's just a cheap copy of Dota and League. And what is really ironic, Dota 2 and League of Legends are actually just stole ideas from the community members. They never even made their own game. They stole all the ideas from Warcraft 3 practically, from Warcraft 3 custom maps, and they didn't show any innovation. In fact, all they did for the game was removing fun maps, basically nothing. So why the fuck are we even trying to copy these guys who literally destroyed the whole MOBA genre industry? All they did was stole ideas and show zero innovation. And how can you then expect these guys to even understand what are they doing? Jesus Christus, man.